Hello all, greetings of the day. My name is Jayashree Rishikesh Tambe from Amrutvaini College of Engineering, Sangamner. So I am here to conduct Data Structures Laboratory. So before starting with the practical, let me introduce you toward the content of this Data Structure Laboratory. So totally this Data Structure Laboratory contain 5 groups. Under every group, there is a minimum requirement of practicals that need to be performed by the student. So in the group A, minimum 3 practicals are required. From group B, 3 practicals. From group C, 2 practicals. From group D, 2 practicals. And similarly from the group E, minimum 3 practicals should be performed from the student. Talking about the implementation, so there is a restriction on a programming language. So for group A and for group B, it is mentioned that practical should be performed in a Python language. Now talking about group D and group C, D and E. So these are the practicals that should be performed using C++ language. Now hardware and the software requirement. I will try to avoid explaining this hardware and the software requirement under every practical. So here let me brief you about the hardware and the software requirements under this data structures laboratory. Talking about the software, wherever we have Python implementations, we can use the programming tools like Spider, PyCharm, Jupyter Notebook and a Google Colab, which is online, a web browser where without installation we can successfully execute Python programs. Talking about C++, so C++ program can be implemented using this G++ library or G++ compiler. So moving ahead, let's start with very first practical that we have. So firstly understand what is the aim of the first practical. So the aim is to understand various set operations in Python. Students have already learned set operation like union, intersection, then minus. Okay, so in under discrete mathematics, but here students will understand how to perform these set operations in Python language. Next, objectives. There are 3 objectives that I have identified from the first practical or the from problem statement. Students will you make use of a list data structure. So our main objective is students should be familiar with the usage of the list data structure in the Python. Second, students will also have a students will clearly understand the working of the nested for loop, how the nested for loop works. And the third one is use of the flag variable in the program. So these are the 3 main objectives of this first practical. Now the next part comes about the outcome. So what is the outcome of the first practical? So students will able to implement various set operations using list data structure. So this is what is the outcome of the very first practical. Let me start with the actual problem statement. So let me read the problem statement, then we will step by step we'll go to the next step, that is the understanding of the problem. Then next is the logic, next is the implementation and how to get a final output. So let's start with the problem statement. So as it is mentioned here, in SC Computer Engineering class, Group A students play cricket, Group B students play badminton and Group C students play football. Perform following functions in Python. Okay, first one, A, that is we have to find a list of students who play both cricket and badminton. So here we have to focus on both cricket and badminton. B, we have to find out a list of the students who play either cricket or badminton but not both. So here we have to focus on either cricket or badminton but not both. C, number of students who play neither cricket nor badminton. So we have to focus on this particular part, that is neither cricket nor badminton. And lastly, we have to find out a number of students who play cricket and football but not badminton. Okay, so even though it is mentioned that we have to just find out a number of students, okay, but what is expected, students should print their roll numbers also. Okay, rather than printing only the count or rather than printing only the number, you can print here the actual data also. Okay, similarly for the D. Okay, so before starting the implementation, let's understand the problem in more depth. So I'll take one example. With the help of example, we'll make things clear. Okay, so let's assume some input here, okay, to understand the problem. So consider here we have group A. As it is mentioned that students should make use of the list data structure. Okay, so consider here I am having a list of the roll number. Okay, remember here you can either use roll number or you can store name of the student also. Okay, I feel using a roll number is a easy, okay, than using the this particular value, that is the name. So let's see. So group A means set A is the roll number of the students who like cricket, roll number 2, 4, 6 and 8. Set B, that is the roll number of the students who like badminton. So remember this A is for cricket, then this B is for badminton, then group C, that is the roll number of the students who like football, that is roll number 1, 2, 4, 8 and 9. So that is for the students who are having a fond of football. Okay, so these are what is the input which is required for our practical or in order to perform the implementation of very first practical. Now remember, along with this along with these three input, we need one auxiliary data structure here, that is the universal array. Okay, so why it is required? Because as it is mentioned under D or under C here, we have to also find out the students who like neither cricket nor badminton, right? So for this particular case C, we need one more list here, that is the universal list, that is U, which contain roll number of the entire class. Okay, so what are the roll numbers? So let's assume here the strength of the class is 10 and the roll numbers are 1, 2, 1, 2, then next is 3. Obviously, if the strength is 10, roll number starts from 1 to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So these are the roll number of the entire class. Moving ahead, the task which is been asked. So let me clear all these 4 different tasks. So group A is, so basically we have to find out output for A, B, C and D. So what is the first part, that is A? So we have to find out a list of students who play both cricket and badminton. So we have to find out an element which is present in both the sets. So for cricket we have A and for badminton we have B. So basically for A part we have to find out A intersection B. As everybody is familiar with the concept or with this particular notation, this is used for the intersection, or this particular symbol is used to find out common element between set A and set B. Okay, so how will we find out? So that part will be discussed later, but what is the expected output here? So the for A we should get output like, what is common here? 2 is common. Okay, so that is why I'll mention here 2. Next I can see here 4 is common, so that is required here. 4 should be also there in the intersection. 6 is also common here, so 6 will also be there. So basically the output of the case A will be roll number 2, roll number 4 and roll number 6, because these are the roll numbers which are present in both the set A and B, or we can say these are the roll numbers who play both cricket and badminton. I hope this A part is clear. Let me move toward the second part, or we can say case B. Case B is to find out a list of students who play either cricket or badminton but not both. Now remember, very first thing here we have to find out a roll number which is present in either A or B. but that should not be common element. So how will we find out the element? So very first thing, in order to find out the solution for the b, very first thing, I have here intersection array, or I have here intersection a intersection b. So what I'll do, I'll take a, then I'll subtract this particular element, that is the common element from the a. Similarly, I will take second list, that is b, and again I will intersect, again I will subtract the common element, that is the a intersection b. Remember, there are multiple ways we can perform, or with the help of which we can get an output. So what is the one way here? We can take a, list a, and we can perform a subtraction of a intersection b. Consider this is my list. We can give some name for this particular list. So let's say the name of the list is AB. Okay, AB means what? Intersection of A and B. So how can I write down here? So very first thing, I have to find out here A minus AB. Okay, that is the element which is present in A but not in both. Similarly, I have to find out the first one, it means element which is present in B but not in AB. Okay, so what I'll get here, A minus AB. Students who like only cricket. Okay, so roll number, I cannot take roll number 2 because roll number 2 is already there in the intersection. I cannot take 4 also because 4 is the roll number which is already present in the intersection. It means roll number 4 is the roll number who like both the games. I cannot take 4. Can I take 6? I cannot take 6 also because 6 is the roll number who like both the games, both cricket and badminton. But I have to exclude the common elements here from A and the B. Can I take 8? Yes, we can take 8 here because 8 is the roll number who like cricket but not both the games. Similarly, I have to find out this B minus AB also. Okay, so let me scan this B set. So can I take 1? Yes, I can take 1 here. Why I can take 1 here? Because 1 is the roll number who like badminton but not both the games here. Can I take 2 here? I cannot take 2. Can I take 3? Yes. So basically we have to extract the common elements. Okay, like I have to exclude here 2, 4 and 6, and I have to copy the remaining element, that is 8, 1, next one is 3, and next one is 7. So the output of this particular B case will be, so just let me sort this, I'll get the sorted list 1, 3, 7 and 8. It means these are the roll numbers. So 1, 3, 7, 8 are the roll numbers who like either cricket or badminton but not both. So I hope the second part is clear. Okay, so now moving ahead to find out C. So what is been explained here for C, we have to find out a number of students who play neither cricket nor badminton. As I already told, for C we need one more array or one more list here, that is the universal list that contain roll number of the entire class. Okay, so if we'll talk about the input during the implementation, so let me clear. For A and B, my input will be only set A, set B and the intersection. Okay, so that we have gained from the case A. But for C, what I need here, I need U also, A also and B also, because I have to find out the students who like neither cricket nor badminton. It means I have to find out, firstly, what I can do, initially I can find out U minus A. It means a students which is present in A, okay, but not which is present in U but not in A. It means students who don't like cricket. Okay, again I have to exclude a student who don't like even badminton. So firstly I have to find out U minus A, then I have to subtract it, okay, with B. Okay, so similarly let's assume I am storing this result into the temporary list. Let's say temporary list is T. So first of all I have to find out this T minus B. So this will give me the answer for the roll number of the students who like neither cricket nor badminton. So let me check here. So what will be the output of this? So what is the output of U minus A? So basically I have to consider here universal set and I have to subtract A from it. So what I will subtract here, I will subtract 2, I will subtract 4, I will subtract 6. So what I will get here for U minus A, or what I will get for T? I will get here T means it will contain 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay, it will also be subtracted. Okay, so it will also be, so what I'll get 1, 3, 5, 7, then 9, and then finally 10. So that is the value of this temporary array. Then I have to subtract b from this. What b contain? B contain roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 7. So now after exacting or after subtracting this value, 1 will be subtracted, 3 will be subtracted, then next one is 5 will be okay, 5 is not there, 7 will be subtracted. So what answer I'll get? I'll get roll number 5, I'll get roll number 9, I'll get roll number 10. It means roll number 5 is not present in A and also not present in B. You can see here roll number 1 like badminton. Okay, roll number 2 like both the games. Roll number 3 like badminton. Roll number 4 like both the games. But roll number 5 is a student who don't like cricket or badminton. So that's why we have copied here 5. Next, already 6 is present in both the set. 7 is already present in the B. 8 is also there. But 9 and 10 is again missing. It means roll number 5, 9 and 10 are the roll number who don't like any game, who don't like cricket or the badminton. Remember here, don't consider football list, okay, because here it is mentioned that we have to just find out the students who play neither cricket nor badminton. So just consider A and the B, don't focus on the set C. Okay, so this is what is the A, B and the C. Now I hope this part is understood. Now let me explain you what will be the output of D. So what is output of D here? We have to find out a number of students who play cricket and football but not badminton. So remember here, very first thing I have to find out students who like cricket and the football. So the cricket, for cricket we are having A, and for this football we have C. Very first thing I have to find out students who like cricket and football. Okay, so cricket and football means both the games. Okay, so for this particular thing we have to find out A intersection C. Okay, if the question would have been asked like cricket or football, then I would have considered here union. But as it is mentioned, students who like cricket and the football, both the games. Okay, so that is why I'll use here intersection. So what I'll do here, cricket and football, but that student should not like badminton. So I'll subtract the badminton list from this particular set. So let's consider this is temporary T1 array. This output is stored in the T1. Okay, and this is what is the B. So now what I'll get here for the T1, I have to find out the student who like cricket and football. So cricket and football means what? So I have to find out common element between set A and set C. So I can see here 2 is common, 4 is common. Okay, 2, 4 and 8 is common. So I'll get here roll number 2, roll number 4 and roll number 8. Then I have to subtract B. B means what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 7. Out of this we can see 2 is subtracted, 4 is subtracted, it will remain there. So it means we will get answer as a 8. Why 8? Because 8 is the roll number who like cricket and football but not badminton. So that is what output for the part D will be 8. So this is what is the very first step before going or before proceeding for the implementation, that is understanding the problem. Okay, so once the problem is understood well, then only you can proceed for the next part, that is the logic. Now let's start with the explanation of the logic behind A. It means students who play both cricket and the badminton. So the logic is the thought process or the way how we are getting the output for the A. So this is what is the algorithm. So algorithm means we are already familiar with the algorithm. So without having knowledge about a programming language, we can proceed for this particular algorithm. So algorithm is independent of the programming language, and algorithm is the heart of the entire problem statement. So what is the logic behind this task A? It means the element which is common between both A and B, or we can say students who like both games, cricket and badminton. So the task is to find out the intersection operation or to perform the intersection operation. So how will we proceed? So consider we have I and we have j. So what is use of I and j? So I and j is the variable which are used to move over elements of A and B respectively. Remember here I is what? Position of the element, as element A, and j is what is the position of element B. So before proceeding for the algorithm, let me tell you one more thing here. So for this particular implementation or this particular logic, we should know the size of the set A and the set B. So let's assume C and B is the size of set A, that is the cricket, and B is the size of B. Purposely I have used C, means C for the cricket, and small b for the badminton. Now moving ahead, so consider this particular data. So consider value of C is 4 and value of B is 6. So if the size of C is 4, so element will be present from the 0th position till 3rd position. So we will consider here we are storing the element using this particular data structure. You can use this is what is the list here, okay, and this is what is the B, okay. So size is 6, it means from 0 to 5. So this particular thing is required, okay, before proceeding for the algorithm. So as I already told here, I is used for the elements of A and J is used to move over elements of B. Next, I have here AB. So AB is used to store the result or to store the common elements. Now, what is the logic here? So initially I will start from I is equal to 0. It means initially I will check the first element of A and I will match it with every element of B, whether this element is present in the list or not. So that is why initially value of I will be 0. Now when I value of I will be 0, remember every time whenever I am moving over the element of A, that particular element will be checked or will be compared with all other elements of B. So every time whenever we are proceeding for the next element or for the next comparison of the A, J value should always start from 0. Okay, so here I have separated here 3A means start with J is equal to 0. So that is why here J is 0. Now what is next procedure here to find out the common elements? I will check the element present at the ith position with element present at the jth position. It means here I will compare 2 with 1. Okay, next part. Okay, before understanding this step, let me explain you here with the example how it will work. Now 2 will be compared with 1. No match. If there is no match, what will happen? Value of j will be incremented. J will be 1. Again 2 will be compared with the element 2. Yes, as soon as I get match here, so what will happen here? This is what is the common element. So I will just copy this common element inside the resultant list AB. As I already got the common element, it doesn't make sense to increment j, because as I already came to know that 2 is already present here, why to compare 2 with 3 or why to compare 2 with 4 or 6 or 7. So to avoid a time complexity here, if I get the matching element, I will stop comparing with the next element of B. So that is what is mentioned here. Start with j is equal to 0. So this is the situation. Compare element present at ith with element present at jth position of B. It means here initially 2 is compared with 1. Next part. If element is matching, okay, then copy it to the resultant list and increment I. So here element is not matching. So we will proceed for the else part. So what else part says? Remember here we have two situations, whether element is matching or not matching. So here 2 is not matching with 1. So what we will do here? Increment j and to check the next element. So obviously I will increment here j. So j value will be 1. Okay. After that I'll go to the next step. Next step means 5. Okay, remember every time I'll check whether I have reached at the end or not, because this is what is the what we can say the limit for comparison of comparison with the elements of set B. Yes, already this value is not reached at the end. It is not it is still less than 5, less than 6. So I'll continue comparison given in the 3B. Remember purposely I have said here 3B. It means if the 2 is not matching with 1, okay, so what I'll do here, I will increment the j value. Okay, so increment the j value. Okay, what is next? Again I will check whether this 2 and this 2 is matching. Okay, so because here I have mentioned 3b, 3 means what? The comparison. Okay, so yes, now what is the case here? Now it is coming under the first, this if part. So here 2 and this 2 is matching. Remember, this 2 is matching with this 2. So now what should I do here? We have to copy the matching element here. So what is matching here? 2 is the matching element here. So 2 will be copied. So that is what is mentioned here. Then copy the element to the resultant list AB and increment I. Why increment I? Because as I already have got the match here, no need to increment J or no need to compare with the next element. So to avoid the time complexity. Now the next element will be compared. So that is why I am incrementing here I. So that is what is mentioned here in the step. Which step? This particular step, which is part of the if. Okay, next, now what will happen? Same step will be repeated here. Okay, so increment I. Okay, and now again every time check. Okay, so J is continue the comparison, then increment the I. So every time I am making a check here whether this I value is reached at the end or not. If not, every time I am repeatedly following the step 3. Okay, what is step 3 says? Again, now I have to compare 4 with every element of B. So again step 3 means what? Again my J value will start with 0. Okay, okay, now again what will happen here? This 4 will be compared with what? Similarly with 1 it will be checked, no match. Again 4 will be compared with 1, no match. Now J will be again incremented. 4 is again compared with 3, no match. 4 is again compared with 4. Yes, I am getting the match. As soon as I get the match, I copy the common element here into the resultant list AB. Yes, after getting the matching element, I will not increment J. Now I will check for the next element. So I will increment I here. Again 6 will be checked every time. Whenever I am comparing with the element of B, J will start from 0. So 6 will be compared with 1, no match. 6 will be compared with 2, no match. 6 will be compared with 3, then 4, then 6. As I am getting the match here, 6 will be copied here. Okay, now I will not compare with the next element, so J will not be incremented. Now I am incrementing the I value here. So now next element here is 8 here. So now 8 will be compared with 1. Okay, so J is 0. Again 8 is compared with 2. Then 8 is compared with 3. Then 8 is compared with 4. Then 6. Then 7. Remember, as 8 is not present, I have increased all the values of J. And as I couldn't get a match, I have not copied the 8. Okay, and finally this is what is the end of the list A. So I will stop here. And what is the resultant list here? Elements are 2, 4 and 6. So now the final step is print stay set or print list AB to get the common element of